Hello, welcome to Juniper Level Botanic Garden, the home of Plant Delights Nursery. And let's look at an easy terrestrial orchid you can grow in your shade garden. This is a very fine example of a Calanthe. It's blooming in early April in our gardens here. They are basically evergreen, but by late winter we like to cut off the older foliage. So it's replaced by this new foliage, which is just starting to come up. And the foliage is handsome. It's sort of like a pleated hosta, but obviously we're not growing for its foliage. We're growing it for its spectacular flowers. These just need, sort of shade garden growing conditions, good soil that's evenly moist and well drained like we had in the Garden of Eden. I certainly think we would avoid a soggy spot, but it's not terribly fussy about soil. A clump that's gotten this big, in my own garden, I'd probably divide it before, later on this year or before too many more years go by. And they grow from a series of pseudobulbs that look like, well, bulb-like. And when you dig it up, if you separate those pseudobulbs into separate bulbs, sort of snapping them apart like beads on a snap-a-bead chain, each one will eventually put up new growth. If they're not separated from each other, then they don't put up new growth. It's only the lead part. This one is not fragrant, but we have another selection in the garden that is very fragrant. But great garden plants, we sometimes have some of them for sale. This is a seedling that showed up in the garden. Sometimes you get really lucky. And so we hope to eventually put it into production, but it would probably take many years to have enough to sell. But we sell some other really delightful ones as well. Calanthe, the name means beautiful flower. And I think you can see why it would get that name. It's I guess a fairly big genus. These are fully winter hardy in a zone 7B or warmer climate, but some of the Calanthes are tropical plants that are grown as house plants or conservatory plants. This is the one I mentioned that has fragrant flowers. It's the cultivar Golden Treasure. It's a robust thing. It's almost 2 feet tall in quite a shady spot. Probably we need to take a few of these arums out and favor the orchid, but a real treasure. See, blooming with our native blue phlox and trilliums and other things in the garden. This beauty is a species. It's the wild species Calanthe incarnata. I love the bicolor flowers. Really pretty. Let me see when this was planted. Oh, it's planted only in 22, so it's not necessarily one of slow increase. It's just that it hasn't had a whole lot of time to increase. Really beautiful one. Another wild species, Calanthe seboldii, named for the early plant explorer Sebold. Another Asian species, pure yellow. I don't know if that's typical of the species, but our individual plant is pure yellow. This too is a wild species. This is Calanthe discolor. And, I originally thought, well, what's discolored about it? Well, that scientific name does not mean discolored. It means two colors, dye color. And you see the lip is white and the floral parts above the lip are various shades of butterscotch and toast. Really charming little species. And right on the other side of the path is a big mass of also the same species, but a much more uniform thing. And we have another selection of discolor that's easily 18 inches tall. Somebody wants a breeding project, they could probably take these various hardy Calanthe species and breed even showier ones. Yeah, this is an especially robust selection of Calanthe discolor. Laura Lou. We're really happy to have this one, but all the Calanthes that are winter hardy are really good garden plants, so I hope you'll include them in your shade garden. Thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in the garden.